Folks, just want to let you know there are efforts going on now in various states around the country. Some efforts headed up by Rudy Giuliani, some legal cases being filed. There could be 8 to 10 states where cases are filed. We know, of course, that there is a case in Pennsylvania, especially there are some suspicions as far as where some ballots came from and whether observers have been allowed close enough from the Republican Party to actually see the counting taking place. We'll talk more of that as we go forward. Right now, though, the head of the Election Crimes Unit has resigned rather than take up investigation. Richard Pilger said it was tradition to not look into election fraud until after results were certified. Waiting that long, Bill Barr said, would hinder any attempts to stop fraud. Joining us now, Kimberly Guilfoyle, senior advisor to the president. Kimberly, do you have any information on what kinds of efforts Bill Barr and the folks associated with them and the Justice Department might be pursuing?
Well, that's private information that pertains to the administration, and I'm with the campaign for the president as senior advisor and national finance chair. But what I do believe, as a former prosecutor, is that justice should be sought in all situations where there is fraud or corruption. And I personally admire Bill Barr and think that whatever investigation he's doing is going to be full and thorough and fair with the ends of justice in mind. So I look forward to that. It seems the Democrats, they were for every phony investigation before, Russian collusion and the Mueller investigation, but now they don't want to know whether or not we had a fair and honest election. They're turning a blind eye to specific examples of corruption that took place. Why is that? It's more of the hide in Biden, right? First, he was hiding in the basement. Now he wants to hide the votes in the election process and the counting with him. The American people deserve and demand transparency. We want to know and make sure that all legal, valid votes were counted. And if there's something that's compromising or there's fraud or abnormalities, irregularities present, then we want to make sure that we have the ability to do a hand recount and actually examine those instances. And we're seeing this across the board now, interestingly enough, in swing states that were crucial to the Electoral College. So we want to know that there was an honest and fair election in states like Pennsylvania, in states like Nevada, in states like Georgia. Why is it, and I was down in Georgia personally, that they had someone who was counting votes, a water main broke, they stopped the counting at 10:30, and then as soon as everyone went home, nothing to see here, folks, they resumed for 2.5 hours, processing approximately 1,000 votes an hour. That is not appropriate. It really flies in the face of justice and of the integrity of the voting system. And this is the United States of America. This is a bipartisan issue. I want to make sure that every valid vote is counted for Joe Biden. Every valid vote is counted for Donald Trump. And then we will certify an election as an American people, and the right person will be in the presidency. Why wouldn't everybody want that? If you don't have anything to hide, why are you kicking poll workers out? Why are you shutting down an election site and saying that there's a water main break and kicking everyone out and continuing to resume? Why are dead people voting? Okay? Why? All of a sudden, were there any dead votes for, President Trump? Only dead people voting for Biden? Why is this happening? It shouldn't be happening in this country. It shouldn't happen to any candidate running for office. There's other races at stake, too. There is a lot on the line, and we should just make sure that this was honest and fair. And the Democrats should want that, too. Instead of a rush to judgment to put somebody in as president by saying, okay, we're going to call the election. Media companies do not call elections. Elections are decided by the people who go out and cast a legal, valid vote that they're entitled to. And guess what else? It's not a 2-for-1 special, folks. It's one person, one vote. You should not have people who are felons voting. You should not have people who are illegal voting. This has to be fair. How is it fair to the 70+ million people that voted for President Trump to have their vote diluted by fraudulent votes? It is not. So I stand with the president, and I stand with those people that are fighting for an honest voting election and an end result that will be properly certified.
Fair enough. You mentioned hand recounts. Do you think hand recounting would change the results, or would it take something like fraud to actually end up with the right numbers?
Well, why would all of these, votes in different swing states all of a sudden we're getting miscalculations on machines, et cetera, conveniently all going to Joe Biden? Or why are there 100,000 ballots where Joe Biden, in fact, is the only person selected on there and no other Democrats below the ticket? If I were Democrats on that ticket, I would want to know, and on that ballot, why, in fact, were no votes cast for them. It's just very, suspect. And I think you see now with the Department of Justice looking into it, and we're fighting these legal battles. Let the courts decide and let the courts determine what, in fact, was the will of the people to choose the highest, most important office of the land, the presidency of the United States of America.
All right, Kimberly Guilfoyle. Thanks, Kimberly.
Newsmax TV is now America's fastest growing cable news channel. We give you the real news you need. So subscribe to our YouTube channel and give us a thumbs up. If you like this video, share it with your friends. Newsmax TV streams live on YouTube for free. Newsmax TV, real news for real people.